Clever Girls, Autoethnographies of Class, Gender and Ethnicity, edited by Jackie Goode, published online by Palgrave Macmillan, autumn 2019, and in hardback, December 2019.
We don't expect much of these children. They are, after all, an experiment. The headmaster of Bramcote Hills Grammar School is welcoming the parents of the 13+ children. My dad is livid. On that day, in 1961, he hands me a script. Get on and make me proud.
My grandmother listens. She releases a long, slow suck in her teeth. And then wearily she says, "Them people fool." From then on, she marks them as them people. Having lost respect in my grandmother's eyes, they will be shunned by her and therefore later the community. As I swagger out of her sight, I can hear her saying, "Girl, you're too womanish."
You're a lucky wee girl, Jan. You've got so many opportunities I never had. We struggled just to make ends meet. There was plenty of love and always food on the table, but it was a hard life. Your ma and dad didn't have two halfpennies to rub together when I was growing up. You don't know you're born these days with all the opportunities you've been given. Just make sure you use them. Mind and always remember that you come from a long line of strong women.
My father had been quietly trained to beam with pride when his friends struggled to distinguish my accent from that of a white person over the phone. Trained to remove himself from the house when my mother's friends and colleagues came round to socialise. Just as his mother had taught him to make himself scarce for the white family whose house she worked in as a maid, and where he would have to sneak through the garden fence for any chance of a mothering moment. He had been socialised to think that he would have nothing to add or contribute to the conversation, little of value to pass down to me.
Will you stay for a bit of lunch, love? My sister asks, offering just a salad sandwich. White sliced bread and butter holding lettuce, tomatoes and cucumber laced with salad cream. I have not tasted its like for years. It's delicious and comforting. It's a coming home to an imagined place that no longer exists.
During the referendum campaign, the conversation in the staff room of the supermarket I'd worked in for 4 years was dominated by Brexit and primarily centred around immigration. I was usually greeted with one of two contradictory responses, something to the effect of, "But you work," indicating that I was not a threat to the nation's resources by relying on public funds like the so-called maligned benefits tourists. Or, "But you're not really foreign," delivered with affection and the intention of making me aware that they thought I belonged in England, but it had a profoundly alienating effect.
During the time of being an elected mute, I listened to how language was formed, learned to understand what words outside of my mother tongue meant. I still remember the fear I had when challenged to speak properly. Now, when I drop an A and replace it with an H, I no longer feel the pang of shame. Here I am today, a poet, skilled at performance. I pay homage to the little girl that I was back then, afraid to speak, unaware of how my future would unfold.
Walking down the steps, I imagined the voices held in the document talking to me, clamouring for attention in this part of the Bodleian Library that holds thousands and thousands of witnesses giving evidence at parliamentary sessions, telling their stories. In here, commissioners and inspector of factories reported on the amount of labour working class women did, but in here too were the women's own voices. The vote is important, but what is more important to us is our work, and this is what we fight for. Our wages support our families.
At Greenpeace, my passion is recognised for the first time in my life. I'm given the space and support to explore my interests. I've somehow ended up doing the very thing I dreamed of, but had no idea what it was, let alone how to get there. What am I seen to be doing during my journey through this exciting and challenging new world? Just putte come again. But this time my family quietly indulges me because I have an Indian boyfriend. Everyone is waiting with bated breath.
Clever Girls is a powerful intergenerational meditation on character formation and how it is shaped by class, race and gender. Its first-hand accounts are fascinating, sometimes shocking in the ways in which women have had to struggle, and always thought-provoking.
Bernardine Evaristo, author of Girl, Woman, Other.